Good evening, everybody. It's bloody cold where I am, although I've got the heater on, so it's not quite as cold as outside. But welcome to a really cold West Sussex. Let's bring my compadre in crime in, young Andy.
Hello again. Welcome to
Again,
you all. Oh, somebody from Switzerland now.
Susie.
Susie.
Yeah, hang on. I'm picking up. I'm picking up two voices again now.
That's something you're ending. Cause I'm on a different computer this time.
Yeah.
How very odd.
It sounds like an echo from you, but I'm not sure.
I've muted.
Okay.
Yep, just checking. I've muted
Yeah.
YouTube.
All right, for those that weren't in lunchtime when for Andy's live, it was a little bit of a pain. I was talking, and then 30 seconds later, I was getting a reply back from myself, and it was going out in stereo, but not linked up to each other. Anyway, what are we making tonight? Let's take Andy out for a second. What are we making tonight? Well, we're going to try and make a bird house. So I've got on the lathe a lump of ash. Oh, I hear several cry. It's 10 inches by 4 3/4, 4.5. So it's a little bit oval. So that's what we're going to be playing with tonight.
You're sure it's not you disguised as Ash?
No, it's definitely not you disguised as Ash.
Oh, that's all right then.
There are to make a bird box. There are certain parameters that the birds need, and the critical one is apparently the size of hole that you drill in the box. Now that can be 25mm, which we're going to be doing today for blue, coal and marsh tits. So that gives 3 different species a chance. If you put it up to 28mm hole, that takes tree sparrows and great tits. And then if we made that 32mm hole, that's house sparrows and nuthatches.
God, picky, aren't
yeah, and if you wanted to go really big, 45 is for starlings. So that we're not going to do because they're just absolutely bloody nuisance. Sorry. It's me getting an echo back every so often.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Can everyone hear me okay? Can someone put up in the chat?
You sound fine to me.
Okay. So the other critical point is that the bottom of the box needs to be about 5 inches away from the center of the hole so that rodents, other birds can't get the little ones out. And the final bit is that the box in width needs to be about or as close as to 4 inches. It's like someone said it's like the echo in your head. Oh, trust the daughter. So yeah, the box needs to be 4 inches wide. But that's about it. So I'm going to start getting this round. Andy's going to do his utmost to keep me informed. Andy's running a slightly different system, his end. So if you can't hear, just put it in the chat because it can be rectified. It's just a matter of plugging something different in. But let's go for it. So welcome everybody. Thank you very much. I'm hitting the go button, and Andy's going to let me know.
I'll let you know who's in. And good evening, everybody. Welcome, and pleased to be here with you. Yeah, if you have a problem hearing me, just give me a shout and I'll plug my headset in. It's just Alison might well be joining me later and she wants to be able to hear. So, so I'm at the moment talking to a mic in one of the cameras and listening to the speakers. So that may or may not cause a problem. Anyway, Keith, people in. Gerard the French Turner, Tommy's Workshop. Circular by Keith. Who's that?
Some weird bloke.
Yeah, Chris Charlton, 1033. Peter Corcoran, Gerard, I've said him. Lawrence Brigasia, Kitey's Shed, Brian Watkins, Colin Izzard, Roy's the boy. He's early.
He's early.
He's very proud of that. Copperell Wood Turning. Dum-de-dum-dum. This is where it flips and I lose it, but at the moment we're doing all right. Robert Dolman, have I said Robert? If not, welcome, Robert.
That's pretty good for round. This is a bit of 2 year down ash, so it's not 100% dry, but it's dry enough to turn with. So my next mission is to put a tenon on the bottom.
Well, Blyford is in. He's in treats with an exclamation mark. So I haven't got to the bottom yet. David J. Heath, Joseph Carpenter, hello David. I'm getting there.
You're getting there. I'm not getting a very good reception from you at the moment either.
Are you not? Harry Chitty is in. James Crawford. I'll push this off and then see what we need to do. Lots of people come in.
Right, so there's my
Jennifer's Craft and Creations. Sorry, door 60. I'm still not there. There's a lot of people come in.
Good. Welcome one and all. Yeah, I see her in because I got some comment from her.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't expect respect from your daughter, can you? I mean, you know.
No.
Fair dues. Paul Heighton, the Grisby Turner.
Hopefully I made that the right sort of ish size.
Woodworm Paul. Trevor P. Hobby Turner. I think I'm there. Michael McEwen. Don't think I said him. Oh, I think that's it.
Well done. Welcome, everybody.
39 watching, which is a good number.
It's a good number for me. I'm not going to break any records with you guys in, but you're all welcome. I'm doing it for you, not for myself. So I make my bird boxes slightly different to a lot of people. Well, I am tonight anyway. I'm going to make mine accessible from the bottom so that it can be cleaned out after the birds have evacuated it in the spring. So I'm hollowing from the bottom. Let me change cameras because I can. You can see a bit more then. Hopefully, yep. There we are. So this is going to be the bottom. So I'm going to hollow that out, but I'm going to make an opening that size so that that's going to be the plug for it, so the little dicks don't fall out. I think it's only fair. So I'm almost up the centre of the log.
Graham Hayne is in. And Katie, Cornish maid.
Hi, Katie.
I miss those in my swap to StreamYard. Right, I'll go back to the headset.
So I can only drill 2 inches at a time because that's the downfall of this polewood lathe. It's only got a 2-inch throw on the quill, but it's only 4 attempts and I'm in there deep enough.
Right, I've swapped over. Can
Can
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. That sounds better anyway.
I'm on my headset now. It is usually more successful.
Yeah, well done, Ben. Trust you, mate. I'm putting Wi-Fi into it as well, so it should be okay. Oh, we've got to be careful what we say. Mum and Dad are in tonight. Oh, Chris is up there, is he? Oh.
I'm just getting up and here.
All right, I was going to say otherwise I'll have to take these off, and it doesn't sound right with this. No, Douglas, Alison is not going to get me a hot toddy ready. she's just off to bed now, taking her phone with her to watch this on it. So.
Okay. So that's the full depth drilled that I'm going to hollow to. Get rid of this hot beast. I know it's hot without even touching it.
The clue was the smoke coming off it.
No, I think that was more steam than smoke.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
But it certainly won't steam off of me anyway. Okay, so I will have to readjust cameras, but
RPM Woodworks is here. That's Ray, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah. Okay. Don't want to make you seasick, guys, but I want to make it so you can see as much as I can, if not more. At least see down the end. Don't lean forward with the cans on because they fall off. I must remember that. And then it's getting uncomfortable again, isn't it? So,
it is indeed, yeah.
So we're going to be hollowing this with the Simon Hope little mini hollower. Yeah. So I'm coming up to just below center. That's it, somewhere around there. Just going to take a couple of parting cuts off with a spindle gouge before we start. Bring up the speed to around about that. Slightly dish the bottom. you what, this is cutting quite well.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah. Right, here we
Jennifer's
go.
reminded people about thumbs up. Thank you, Jennifer. Question from Rex B. Which tool makes the better tenon?
Well, the one that I used, Rex, was the Bidan. But that's only, well, basically because it's got a slight taper on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks square in there, but it is actually wider on the top than the bottom. So that's what I use. I can't find any other good use for it apart from, yeah, tool rest is too high. So most of tonight's work is going to be hollowing, but you can't have a solid bird box.
Wouldn't be any use to a woodpecker, wouldn't it?
It defeats the object of a bird box.
And Katie says, Mother would like to know what wood it is, please. She wants
Other than
Chris
not
to
to be
copy
so
it.
bloody nosy.
Yeah. Don't be so nosy, Ash.
Right, I can go a little bit wider. It's locally sourced ash. I want to keep the opening parallel. Then once I get inside, is that bleached it out? No, you can still see where I am.
No, I still see it, yeah.
So the other thing that the RSPB tell me, which is where I've got all my information from, the bottom of the box should be hollow or cone shaped, so that if you put a couple of small, or 2 or 3 small holes in the bottom, any liquids will drain out. So if there's any rain, for argument's sake, flows in the hole, it will drain out rather than flood the little birds, which I suppose is quite good, an idea.
Well, yes, it does. Don't want getting wet botties, do we?
No.
And yes, Roy's asked if that's in reverse. Yes, Roy, it is.
Yep. It's easier for me to work. I've got it, so I'm going to use it. If I was to try and turn this conventional way, I would need to swing the head over another 4 or 5 inches at least, so that I can get round the back of it to get the right angle. So you're looking down the hole, and unfortunately you're on your side, but don't worry about it.
It's the way I sleep. I was quite used to that.
And when it grabs like that, it's generally an idea that there's too much in the way of shavings in there.
And yes, Roy, it was ash. Yes.
It builds that round the cutter. Looks like it's moved a bit, so as it's not 100% dry, I will give that a little tweak. See if it, yeah, a little bit, not much. It's on gripper jaws, on the big 2 1/4 inch gripper jaws. The cutter's at about 45 degrees, 45 degrees.
And what speed are you turning at? Roy's asking.
Around about 550, I would think. And it's got to be about, because the original inverter in this died, so I've got a retrofit one which doesn't come with a readout. Ben, behave. But I will point it out to you later on when I change the camera, just so that you're not left wondering.
I'm wondering. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know if I said why the wood chip was in, but he is.
Come on, behave. Grabbing a bit too much at the moment.
And Fred Gilliver's in.
Clean up the sides of it. So I've gone over now to a 1/2 inch round carbide.
Rob CP is in.
Rob, twice in a day.
Oh, I missed you coming in, so apologies for that.
I don't know what's down there, but something keeps grabbing me. There's no branches in there. Oh, it's quite wet inside. That's probably why. Yeah, it is quite wet. We can survive.
Yeah, join the club, Katie. Katie says, at Ben, Mum said she's just eaten. She's okay, thanks, lol. But I literally have no idea what you're on about. I'll go along with that. State of life a bit at my age.
If this gets too loud, just tell me, because there's not much I can do about it.
I was going to say.
It's the bar vibrating on the tool rest. So let's go back to the original. Now I've got a bit deeper.
Douglas is asking how deep you are at the moment.
I'm that deep, which is nearly 5 inches. I'm nearly at the maximum. Yeah, that's the maximum there. So it's just a matter of working back now. it's a matter of feeling it. I just got to turn off a bit of the fire. It's getting a bit warm. I'm not used to all this heat. That's better.
The calling Izzard is asking what depth you can go to with the mini holding tool. It's a small cutter, but it's not a mini tool. Basically, it's a pro tool, and it's very
what
efficient.
I can do is take the handle off and put the handle in a proper handle. You can't really see that.
Yeah, one of the Simon Hope ones. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a proper handle there, which gives me 2 foot that I can use as well, which I'll probably use to finish cleaning it up.
Really makes it a very useful tool when you do that. You can go to quite a depth, about 9 inches, probably easily.
Yeah, but you can see how it's grabbing.
It is, isn't it?
Grabbing because it's building up in there. So the depth of the hole is 5 inches. You have to believe me on that. So the center of the hole needs to be that round the back, so that's the front. That needs to be the center of the entry hole for the little dick-dicks. So what I've got, if I remember where I put it, that one I do. It's going to drill in. Just come back over onto different camera for a second.
The overhead one.
Not that one. That one. No. That one.
No, that's the one with you on. That's the one.
Yep. Right. That's going to be center. And I'm just going to aim. Something. Remarkably sharp.
It's a worry.
I did sharpen it up yesterday.
Does help.
Just need to change.
Doug Miller is in.
Hello, guys. Welcome, one and all.
And who's asked the question? Douglas Mugham says, "Is there a deep hollowing bit of kit that you would recommend?"
Apart from this little 6mm hollower, no, because that to me works an absolute dream. So what I can do now is, I haven't got the hoover in here and I haven't got the compressor, but I can actually blow through their hole and push it all out the end. Apart from
something like that.
Oh, yeah, apart from what sticks to your lips as you get it there, but there you go.
Brent Beecroft is in.
Hi guys. I'm going back onto the end camera again, which unfortunately is laying on its side, but I can hopefully see it coming out through.
It should throw some of it out there, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Don't know whether that was a good idea, Andy.
Douglas says, "Keith, you're not supposed to suck."
Oh, I didn't. that hole like a machine gun firing.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's doing well. Spraying its bullets everywhere.
Katie, Chris doesn't need one of these yet. He needs to get a little bit better at turning first.
It's fine until you get down the bottom of the hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then it does become hard work.
Try and feel it.
Yeah.
How far this one to go down? Behave. That was a really bad idea, Andy, you had of drilling that hole in the side.
Okay. Catching it all, is it? But I know you can overcome it. Katie says okay, she won't buy him one yet.
Right, let's get the digital calipers in there, see where we are. We're getting close. We're getting exceptionally close.
See it on the hole halfway down, can't you?
Well, I can feel it. I can get my finger in there and I can feel it. I'm only barely 10 mil there at the hole. Oh, you can just see through the hole in the in the side. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if I can clean this up a bit. This is the big baby that I was on about just now, which we could put the other unit into. All I've done with that one, which is an inch washer, basically HSS washer on the end of a Simon Hope handle. That's taken out the ridges. Yeah, it has taken them out as well. I think I'm almost happy with that. If I can get a fraction deeper, and just to clear the hole.
Brian at Hartwood Turnings in.
Hello, Brian. He's on the lathe. You're much better off sitting in the comfy chair, Brian. You don't have to sit on there. You get a cold bum if you're sitting on the lathe. I know you guys can't see anything, nor can I. That's better. It's just a little bit at the top. See if I can get a little bit deeper. Problem is 2 or 3 passes with this little 6mm cutter takes off a lot more than you would ever have thought.
Yes.
I can live with that, I think. Yes, I can. So let's square that back up. Change everything round. And come back onto a camera that is set up true.
Right way up.
Yeah. Well, I was just stretching that one to.
I know you've moved it round. It's
Yeah.
far more obvious. So that's all right.
Let's get this out of the way because I don't really want that wire in the way from that camera. It's not a good thing to get caught up in something spinning. Right. Okay. Right. Katie's mum. The handle on the lock-in the banjo is often referred to in the building trade as a donkey's knob. I'll leave it up to you now.
Say no more.
Yeah.
And Lionel is in. Atelier de Leo.
Hi, Lionel. So now I'm going to start to put some the right way around. Some profile onto it. It would be handy if I knew where I was starting from. Can't see the hole when it's spinning that quick. But about there. That's good. Little bit of carbon on them works wonders. So I'm going to. It's going to be basically parallel bodied. That's warm.
Katie's mum said, "Ooh."
Well, I think some of it goes back to the tree surgeons. Get rid of that picture in picture, so that when they wanted to throw a rope up over a branch, if you just threw a rope with no weight on the end, and also I think it was the Navy as well, when they wanted to pass things from ship to shore or ship to ship, they needed to get a line across and needed to put a weight on the end. And I think that is where the donkey's knob comes from, originates from. So to undercut the roof overhang, I'm just gently using the parting tool just to give me a bit of a drip on there.
Is that your mushroom tool or another one?
Could have done, but this is just as quick for what we want tonight. Now I'm not going to put, or not looking for, a showroom finish on this. It's a bird box, it's going to live outdoors. So we're not colouring it. I'm just going to oil it. Not doing anything to the inside because the birds don't like living in a smelly house. And we're not putting any preservative on it as well, which the birds don't like.
Webfoot Resin and Wood Creations.
Before I go to and weaken off the top too much, I'm just going to put a little bit of a curve on the bottom. I'm not sanding it. It's pretty good straight off the tool. So just going to radius the bottom off a fraction. Now the beauty of making bird boxes, you can design them to whatever shape you like, whatever style you like. There's no set design. The criteria, like I say, is preset by RSPB and other concerns. But once you meet those few dimensions, the actual design and the style is up to you. Stab it.
Douglas Mungham's asking, could these be made like a lidded box?
Yes, that is the other option, Douglas. The problem that I encountered in the past is that if you make them like a lidded box, you've got to make the lid very secure. Whereas if you make them this way, again, the plug will be secure, but it won't be, it's not weight bearing apart from 4 or 5 little tits in it. And the other thing that the RSPB say is don't have them suspended on a string or a cord, because the birds don't like moving around. It makes them feel like they're seasick. So always fix it securely to a tree, a shed, workshop, wherever you're going to put it.
Oops.
Yep, that's how wet it was. Well, I was taking off a reasonable lump. And the roughing gouge is sharp. Did that? No, it didn't kill it. Oh, it's the tool rest.
Yeah, it's turning, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. I thought that had locked up.
Donkey's knob.
Yeah. You're all going to be jealous now. I've got a donkey's knob in the workshop. Right, okay. Attempt 3. As it's slightly green and cutting so well, you don't realise how big a cut you're actually making. And that was the problem. I was taking a 1/2 inch shaving off of there. Didn't move in the chuck. Didn't do a Mike Walton sail across the workshop.
No, it stayed remarkably true, actually, isn't it?
One would have hoped it would, right next to the chuck.
Oh, yeah, but it was quite a major catch.
Oh, yeah.
It dug in there.
I'm not sure whether it dug in that amount as opposed to it caught because it's so damp. Still take a lot off with a spindle gouge. stop and have a look, see what it's looking like now. And that's the other reason the headstock worked loose.
That's what Tommy was just suggesting.
All right.
So I didn't want to disturb you while you were busy.
Yeah.
But, yes, he said,
Until
has the headstock moved?
Yeah.
Well
Marginally.
spotted, Tommy.
Yeah. That's what
It's
you're not
loose,
paid
he
for,
says.
Tommy. So,
It's the headstock. Yes,
quite
he
happy
started
with
a little while ago. Well done, Tommy. Sorry, I didn't pick up on it earlier. He shouted at me. Shouted,
Okay.
Andy.
Oh yeah, see it now. Yeah. You got to keep this guy awake. Right. Just refine the roof a bit.
Maple Tree Studios is in.
Hello, Dale.
Well done.
That looks better. Happier with that shape. Let's get rid of that.
So how are you going to fix it up?
I'm going to drill 2 holes through the back and screw it to the shed.
Yeah.
So I can actually drill that now as it's in the lathe. Remember where I put the drill? It's over there.
As Ben said, well, at least Tommy's paying attention.
So using the hole, I'm going to drill straight through the back. Should just about do it. That's it, it's come through. One level, and if I aim one slightly downhill, just going to need to extend the drill out of the chuck a bit, which you're not supposed to do, but if you do it up tight, you can do. So I've got 2 screws in the back.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, it's not so thick there either.
No, I was thinking that going through very quickly.
Yeah, that'll hold. I'll put a 3rd one in just in case in the middle. Yeah. Because there's a bit of bark on there still. Didn't sort of take that into account, but not an issue. So what I would do is I will put 2 or 3 screws through the back and screw it to the side of shed, workshop, you name it, whatever you're going or wherever you're going to mount it. And I can't afford to take any off any higher than that. That trues that up. I'm not going to worry about that. So there, guys, is the shape of the bird box. Getting a bit closer, take a bit more off. So I'm not sanding it. I'm going to oil this in it when I've finished. That's all that it needs to be waterproof enough. There's no fixed shape to the roof. don't want is a hole in the top or a dimple in the top. So, bit of left-handed turning. Oh, that's exceptionally sharp. Try this one then.
Roy said, "Is the headstock still out of place? It's not quite in line."
No, it's very rarely, Roy, that I actually turn in line. I find the build gets in the way, or is that the belly? Oh, it's both. Gets in the way. I can get closer to it, and I can get more in line and see what I'm doing. So, just with a Stanley knife, I'm just going to take that off. You could use a skew. Not sure that my skew is that sharp at the moment. So, there is the bird
There
box.
it is.
Almost finished. So we'll put that aside so that I don't knock it over.
It's just the bung for the bottom, is it?
Just the bung in the bottom to do. So that should fit in these jaws.
Only 10 to 9, so you're doing well.
Oh, I'm not racing.
No, but you're doing very well anyway. So
if we're absolutely desperate and want to see something else, I could quickly turn a mushroom, I think. I've got a few blanks in here, so sort of half prepared if we do. I didn't know how long this was going to take.
No.
If I'm perfectly honest. I've never timed myself making one. I've usually had interruption on the way through, so.
Yes, Douglas, there is a clock ticking. I'm in my office indoors, and there's a clock on the wall. Yeah. I didn't realise you could hear it.
Oh yeah, it's very clear.
That's right. It means it's still going, isn't it?
Yeah. Getting a bit tighter. Right, so that's nearly running true. Let's get that a bit closer.
Just there.
I do happen to have the right equipment. Just to ease it into the right location. And I'm not going to be damaging the bearings on this because they're 2.5 inch bearings on this. So they are quite a monster, and they're taper bearings, so I can tweak them up if necessary. See how that runs. Yeah, I think we can do that. We can get away with that. So spindle roughing gouge, use one wing, or you can use a skew. I might have to lose a bit of the end of this. No, still a bit to come off. And I don't know what the wood is. It's a bit I had. I could have used the spindle gouge, but I'm just being too damn lazy to move the tool rest. So that fits now up to there. That's not far off.
So that's very nearly where you want it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the fit I wanted, so that it's a loose fit, so I have got to move the tool rest now to finish that bit off. Okay, it's parked itself on the floor now. I don't need that one tonight.
You're drilling drainage holes in that
Yeah, I'm going to put a couple of
bowl,
holes in that
in the
plug.
bowl. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the inside, so I'm going to slightly hollow it so that when the birds wee themselves or anything gets in there, it's got somewhere to go. It doesn't need to be much, which is about there, which isn't much. Steve made one of these on Sunday, didn't he? But he did his slightly different. One I've
did
had
he?
for
Yeah. I missed him on Sunday.
few years, but it fits my hand. Slightly longer handle and slightly longer head. One piece of oak rather than two laminated together. But, if that's what he'd got, that's what he did.
Yeah.
So now I can gently put that on there, mark it, and cut that off at that line. But I think before I cut that off, I'm going to make a couple of holes in the bottom so that when they do wee themselves, it will run out. So what size hole should we have? We've got that one. That's sharp, so that'll do.
Yeah, that size, that'd be good.
It's not critical, but size-wise, but it's critical that you've got holes in there.
Yeah.
Oh no, we know what we've got to do. I've got to put an edge on this. Sorry, guys. I've got no camera on the
It's only
grinder.
my Barry is in.
Hello, Barry. Right, I'm back. So, that's hot. Can't imagine why. That's it. So I'll just put that drill away. Why didn't you tell me I needed it, Andy?
Oh, stupid me.
Yeah. Overpaid, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right, so anywhere on this ring around the bottom, because the wedge goes in or the plug goes in there. Don't want to push it in too tight at the moment. I'm going to put some holes. I'm going to put one directly in the front. Oh, that's a good drill. No wonder someone's broken it, not sharpened it. I thought I'd picked up the same one. Well, obviously I didn't. Right. Ready to go now. So I'll bring the camera there. You might be able to see. Yeah, you can see me. I'm going to put one
Yeah.
sort of
Oh, yeah.
in the front. I'm going to put another two around about a third and 2/3. It doesn't need to be exact. The birds won't worry.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So all that's left to do is get some stainless steel screws out the van, which I don't happen to have in here today. Just gently tap that in there, and then tomorrow I will screw that in, and that's the front. So there's no peg for them to sit on, because if you put the peg in there, the predators sit on there, and as soon as they poke their head out, snap. So there's no peg, no branch or anything. It's just the hole of the right size. It looks like a bit like a mushroom. So straight through the hole. Yeah, you can just see one, two. There's two holes in the back. Well, that'll take two screws onto the shed, onto the post, whatever you do, so that it sits there. So all I'm going to do with that to finish it is some oil. Let's get rid of my glasses, they keep falling off. Don't need them now. Don't need that on. So I tend to put my oil on with safety cloth, but it's not safety cloth from Chestnut. It's safety cloth from a garage which they used to use. I'm not sure you can actually get it now. It's a very soft paper. So, and the oil I'm going to use, mineral oil. I expect some of you ladies would recognise the bottle.
Baby oil.
Baby oil, because that's inert. It's not going to do any harm to them. And through putting it in this, I can actually squirt it out rather than all of a sudden it come gloop and the whole lot come out. So,
Katie says it's getting motherly and saying, "Are you going to sand the hole for them?"
no.
I think
No.
I know the answer to that.
No,
and Nick Castle says, "Looks good. Could you repeat the dimensions, please?"
Yeah, in a second, Nick.
Okay.
But basically, they want a 4-inch bed chamber nursery inside, and that same dimension will apply even if it's a square one or rectangular one. They want 4 inches. Greedy little buggers. They want a double bed before they're even old enough to use a single. But now that's set down by the RSPB and other ornithological, however you say it, groups, so that they've got room to grow and move and exercise a bit before they take to the wing. So that's had one quick coat. On me cam, aren't I? And I'm doing this down low so that I can see. Better not let Emma see this. She likes doing this to her mushrooms, doesn't she?
Yes.
So I'm not putting gloves on because it's mineral oil, it's baby oil. It's good enough for a baby's bum. It's good enough for my rank old hands. So just give it one last spurge on the bottom so that it's all done. And so all I've got to do tomorrow is 3 screws to hold the plug in the bottom. So all I need to do next August is whip the 3 screws out and take the old nest out if there's one in there. And apparently this is the best way of doing it. If you want to colour them, you colour them the same colour as the background, the post that you're sticking them on. You don't bright colour them. Can you do me a favour, Andy, and take out Hacky?
Yeah, just
please.
Just get you to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't brightly colour them because apparently birds don't like bright colours. They see in black and whites. White is not a brilliant colour, but this will be going on a fairly light piece of fence, so it shouldn't stand out too much. If I was going to colour it at all I would have done before I oiled it would have been go over it with something inert that's not spirit based. So it would have probably have been my magic liquid, which is a mixture of vinegar and steel wool, which would turn the ash grey through the chemical reaction.
Gerard was asking how many coats would you give it?
I will give this one more tomorrow. I won't give it any more than that. It's surprising how far that soaks in. So the overall dimension from side to side is about 5 inches. The cavity from back to front is 4 inches. The height of the opening above the bottom of the base is about 5 inches. 4.5, 5 inches. So what have we got? What do we end up with? We ended up just over 4 inches. And you can make them whatever height, whatever style you fancy. There's nothing that you can't turn on there. You've just got to remember that the water wants to run down, do that side, run down the roof and drip off, which is why I undercut that and radius the bottom. Simple as that, guys. And it's nice on your hands.
Oh, the diameter of the opening was the other question. 25 mil,
right.
Wasn't it?
25 mil for blue tits, cold tits, and marsh tits. If you wanted tree sparrows and great tits in there, so if you're a big tit man, you need to make it 28 mil. And if you wanted house sparrows and nuthatches, apparently it's 32 mil. And starlings, being that they're fat and big and useless, is 45 mil. But all of those dimensions are on the RSPB website, which is where I collared them from. So you should be able to easily look them up. If not, you just message me, as I've got them here. Not sure whether you did, but I have now anyway.
What's that? I did, but it didn't.
It didn't.
Yeah. Didn't do it on StreamYard.
Okay, well I've got rid of it in StreamYard now. So
okay. Yeah, no, I got rid of it on YouTube.
Okay.
So
yeah, it tells me it was blocked. Bit small for an owl though. Yeah, not for baby owls. Something a bit different. Something a bit different. I know we all try and do bowls. different shapes of bowls, different style of bowls. I just wanted something that is going to be useful, and it gives you a chance to see the different tools that I use. I'm not saying these are the tools that you should use, but this little mini hollowing tool from Simon Hope is a bit of an animal. That was just about at its maximum today. I wouldn't suggest you go much further, but the other one that was useful was the 1/2 inch round carbide, just for cleaning it up, and the big inch one, which is a Simon Hope one. Don't even know where I put the put that 6mm one now. Perhaps that's what went to sleep over the back. Yeah, it did. I can see it on the floor down there. Oh well, I'll go fishing.
Katie and Chris are heading home now. Speak
Right.
soon, he says.
Perhaps catch up with you tomorrow evening, Chris. So thanks for popping by. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it. If there's any of you that haven't subscribed to the channel, perhaps you would be kind enough to even hit the bell. That gives you an indication as to when I go live. If you want to watch me, if you don't want to watch me, fine. But it's always appreciated. So that, I think, guys, is me going in to try and find a bit of heat indoors. Have a quick shower.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's not bad down here tonight. I've had the heater on full blast for most of the time. I've just turned it out now. So, and I've got insulation in the roof, so it holds it in mine rather than Andy being a bit mean and not getting it in yet.
One day.
One day. Yeah. Perhaps I'll come down and give you a hand when the weather warms up a bit.
It's a very complicated bit of roof. It's all triangles.
Yeah.
You've got to cut them into, so. But I will do it one day.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the nice comments, guys.
Yes, indeed.
We do it for you more than we do it for ourselves. I already knew how to turn what I was doing. It was just a bit of practice and a bit of fun for me.
It looks as though a number of people are going to be copying it.
Yep.
Which is nice.
So
very nice.
That's the other half of the log that I had. So it's ash. You can do it in anything. Doesn't need to be ash. But ash is quite resilient to wear outside. You could possibly try it in cedar, but it's a bit of a waste on cedar when there's so much ash coming down locally. So if you can find a branch, if this actually shakes and splits, I'm not worried. You can always put a little bit of putty in it or something like that. As long as the drainage hole's in the bottom, it doesn't matter whether there is a slight leak in the roof. But you do need to either make the bottom removable like I've done or make the top removable. But like I say, making the top removable does sort of weaken it a bit. I don't know, it's just me. Silver birch, yes, it's a softer wood, Douglas, but it should last if you oil it. You want an oil that doesn't have a smell. So why have I just used baby oil that smells like whatever it does? Because that smell will disappear in the next 24 hours. Whereas if you used a finishing oil, a tung oil, that lingers a bit longer. And to be honest, I think that pot when I bought it was about £1.50, so under £2, and you've got yourself a litre and a half, I don't know, a pot of oil which you can use on a lot of things. If any of you do garden dibbers, you could use it on those as well to help prolong them. You could use PVA, I think, Roy, but I'm not so sure that you want to. You need to leave the outside slightly rough. Otherwise, as the bird comes and lands on it, it slides off, which is why you don't sand the inside, because the little dicks need to climb up the inside, poke their ugly heads out before they fly off. But as they come back to nest, they need to grip on the opening, which is why I've left it a little bit hairy around there. They will soon clean that off. You can just about see it over there. But, that's quite acceptable on this project, to leave it rough. You don't want it polished smooth. And it's a good project to learn tool control so that you can get a finish straight off the tool. And like I say, if you wanted to make these as Christmas decorations, there's several guys around the world, different turners, they make them about 2 inches tall. They colour them completely, different colour head to the bottom, and they stick a toothpick in there, so they've got something for the little birds to supposedly land on. Well, in true life, apparently they never land on anything. It's the predators that land on the little perch. And the last thing is, when you put them up, if you can, put them north facing or northwest, northeast. You've got a parameter of about 25 degrees that you can put them in. I would have thought, Roy, that if you PVA'd the top, it would possibly stop it splitting, but if you oil the top, it would do the same. That oil went in quite a long way, and the second coat tomorrow, when that's dried in a bit further, and it will soak in and you will be able to put more oil on it, is probably more beneficial than PVA. You could paint the top if you wanted to, as long as you didn't paint or stain the actual body of it. If you wanted to do the mushroom head or whatever roof you put on there, that wouldn't be an issue, I believe. Like I say, I'm not an authority on it, but I did just double check on what size holes and bits and pieces that it needed. I didn't want to put out really bum information and you go along and say, well, I made one, but nothing wants to come anywhere near it. So if there's no more questions, I'm going to head off into the warm.
Yeah, that seems to be it.
So thank you, one and all. I think I'm doing next Tuesday lunchtime, Andy. I know you haven't got your list by.
I have somewhere.
Well, don't worry.
I did two copies of it. So.
Okay. It'll either be Andy or myself, and I think
Here
it's me.
Here we are. The 25th, isn't it? Next week.
18th today, so yeah, must be.
Yeah, next week. You're doing Tuesday lunchtime. And then we haven't got Tuesday evening because
we haven't got Tuesday.
Rich is doing it.
Yep.
And on the 1st of February, I'm doing lunchtime. You're doing evening.
Yep. So we've got a program worked out, guys. So we know more or less what we're doing. So I'm not getting all the luxury ones of sitting in the warmth of the lunchtime and Andy's freezing his bits off of an evening. So we've shared it out.
Shared it round, yeah.
Yeah. It makes no difference to me whether I'm indoors or outside here, but we're split it. So I think that's it. Thank you, one and all. Good. I'm going to end the broadcast now, if I can get the mouse to wake up.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
So it's good night. Thank you very much. Hopefully see you next Tuesday or whenever. It will be up on the tubes tomorrow, so you can all watch it back again if you missed any. If you want any more information on them. Like I say, the RSPB website is pretty good. Or just Google bird boxes. So, right, I'm off. Thanks, guys. Bye for
Bye.
now.